Hi everyone, and welcome along to your Wednesday cook along with me, Aine from Good Food Nutrition. So today, obviously being hump day during the week, is you might be thinking to yourself something speedy tonight, or you're maybe running out of food and you're thinking, what have I got in the fridge? What can I make that's really sort of quick and easy where I don't need like 10, 20 ingredients for? So I'm going to show you how to make a really speedy wholemeal pizza. Okay, now this dough is slightly different than your normal big puffed up dough in that it's a fairly sort of thin base as well and comes out more like a crispy base as well. But what it means is that you can make it, cook it, and you'll have it on the table in less than 30 minutes. So we like that midweek, means we're not stuck in the kitchen, and a cheap and cheerful meal. So I'm going to get going and show you how to make the dough. I'm also going to show you how to make a lovely, your own homemade pizza topping sauce, absolutely gorgeous, full of flavour as well. And then put it together, and I'll just make some suggestions as well for toppings that you like. But really, when it comes to pizza, whatever you like, you know what I mean? You can have your chicken, your ham, your pepperoni, your vegetables, whatever. So we'll get going on the ingredients. So you'll see, to make 2 of these wholemeal pizzas on your recipe, you'll see you need some strong bread flour and you need some wholemeal flour as well. Now, I'm never too fussy because I don't mind the coarse wholemeal flour. This one here I tend to use in my wheaten and soda breads as well, and tastes gorgeous as well in this one. I've just remembered one thing to say to you before we start, is to preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius fan. Okay, I have in there my own pizza stone, which I use because it crisps up the bottom of the pizza. So if you are using a pizza stone, put it in the cold oven, whack it up to 200 and let it preheat. Nearly forgot to tell you that. So we're going to go in, get your weighing scales on. You have your big bowl and a whisk as well in terms of equipment. Get your weighing scales on to measure in grams. And we are going to measure in 100 grams of our wholemeal flour. This is a really easy recipe. It's like 100, 100, and then just 7 grams of yeast. So in we go with 100 grams of our wholemeal flour. And I suppose the reason that I make this one is it's just a slightly healthier version of the normal white pizza. Plus, I personally find it's just a bit easier to digest. Sometimes after the normal pizza, you kind of got that big full tummy feeling. This one, you don't have it so much. So reset your scales there, and we're going to go on with 100 grams of just our normal strong bread flour that you use for your bread making. So 100 grams in there. Perfect. We'll use the rest of that for rolling out our dough. So with the 200 grams of flour in there, we're also going to go in with just a little sachet of yeast. And that works out at 7 grams or 1 teaspoon. Now, unfortunately, is if you're trying to make this recipe after today, is yeast has become like gold. And actually, it is pretty much impossible to get in the shops as well. So if you do find it, fair play, do let us know. Put a comment under the video where you found it so we can actually buy it. But I've managed to get the last sachet that I have on the cover to go. So about 1 sachet or 7 grams, in we go with that, straight in. And we're just going to get rid of our scales at this stage. And then into that, again, to activate your yeast, we're going to go in with a little pinch of our sea salt, just a teeny pinch. So it's actually the salt and the warm water we're using that activates the yeast and gets it sort of into that sort of stretchy form, or gets the dough rising as well. So we're also going to go in with some black pepper. Now, I tend to like to flavour the doughs in my pizza, as well as the actual toppings as well. As I don't know, it's just me. I think it just tastes nice as well. So into our flour, our yeast, and our salt mix there, you can see. I'm just going to go in with a little tiny bit of our oregano. So I would say to you probably about 1/4 teaspoon. And we're going to be using that as well in our pizza sauce topping as well. So you can see there, hopefully you can see to the camera, I have the 100 grams of wholemeal flour, the 100 grams of strong white flour, the 7 grams of yeast or the 1 sachet, and a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and a little bit of oregano. So to give that all a mix around, just using a whisk or using your hands as well, by all means, is you can just give that a very, very quick whisk. And that is just to make sure, obviously, that the yeast is mixed throughout the whole flour mix as well. So it is as simple as that. Now, in terms of just the moisture in here, we're just using tepid water. And I'm using 125 millilitres of tepid water. And when I'm talking about tepid, all you have to do is you boil up the kettle, pour out 125 mils into a glass or into a little measuring jug, and then you just let it come to sort of temperature where you can dip your little finger in. It doesn't burn, but it's still nice and warm, okay? So it's just supposed body temperature is what we're looking. So we're just going to make a little well in the middle, as I'm doing there with my hand. Just pull up the sleeves of it. And then we're just going to go in, straight in with the water, the warm water. And then just with a knife or a little spatula, whichever you like, is you're just drawing the flour into the liquid, just to bring it all together. Now, as with bread making, different flours, different makes of flour will require sometimes a little bit more liquid, a little bit less liquid. I would find when I'm making sort of soda breads and wheaten breads, really each different sort of make of flour that you're using, it will absorb different amounts of liquid as well. So if you're unsure or you're not using your normal flour, go in, I would say, with about 75% of the liquid and then see where you're at with that. Because obviously then you can add a little bit more, but you can't take it away. So this has come together perfect. And I'm just going to show you now what this is like. I'm going to turn it out onto the tabletop. Little dusting of your flour. And just with your hand, flour your hands a little bit as well. We're just going to turn out our dough, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So you can see there, we just have a little ball of dough, and that is actually going to make 2 pizzas, okay? 2, probably about 10 to 12 inch pizzas. So I'm going to split that in half, and you can at this stage is you can either freeze one and use it, but we're probably going to use both of them here today. So flour your dough well, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to start to knead it. In fact, you can actually do the whole lot together at this point, and then you can split it in half. So you're just going to, with the palms of your hands and both your hands here and here, you're going to start pushing and pulling the dough. And what you're doing at that point is you're stretching the gluten, which is the protein in the flour. You're just stretching that to make it more elastic. So again, just pushing and pulling, but you're trying, don't get too forceful where you're ripping the dough, because you don't want that. You just want to stretch it, so that when the time comes to roll it out, it doesn't spring back in as well. So just giving everything a good push and a pull there. And at all times is make sure you've plenty of flour on the tabletop, because otherwise it's going to get quite stuck. So again, just keep dusting it each time you need it, or dust your hands as well. And you keep that going. This one is particularly sticky today. You keep that going for a few minutes. Now, if you were using the normal dough, you would be making it with all strong white flour, okay? You're going to end up with that one is a stretchier dough as well, because it's proper pizza dough. You're going to end up with a stretchier dough, but you're also going to end up with a dough that gives a higher rise as well. This one doesn't, because as I say, it's a quick cook pizza. It takes out half the white flour from it, and it's going to give you more sort of a crispy base as well. So, and obviously in our home ovens, we're never going to get the lovely sort of crispy bottom as much as we would if we went to a pizzeria, or if you had a wood-fired oven, unless you have one of those in your garden or something. So you kind of just have to make do with the fact is that it's never going to taste as nice as it is if you're eating pizza out. Now, just give everything a good push and a pull there, and that is ready to go. So we're going to split that in 2, and we're just going to put one on one side there, and then we're going to start to roll this out, and then I'm just going to show you how to very quickly make your pizza topping. So again, with your dough, it's just rolling it into a little ball, get it nice and flat. Get yourself your rolling pin, give it a bit of a flour, and then we're just going to start to roll this out. Please make sure at this point is that there's a good bit of flour on your tabletop, or you're going to end up scraping it off with a knife. So again, rolling it down, turning it around, giving it another roll this side. And this is where you can get the kids involved as well, by all means. Kids love making pizza as well, so I have no doubt they've been their element making this as well. Now, turn it around and just roll it lengthwise. Mine's not coming out too round, it's more kind of rectangle, but I'll not beat myself up over that one. And again, just keep turning the dough. And that should probably do it. So you have a nice sort of crispy base as well on it. Okay. Now, let's get rid of this stuff here. We're going to just leave that to that side there for a second. I don't want to take the pizza stone out yet, because when I do actually put the pizza onto it, I want it to be scalding hot so that it cooks nice and quickly from the bottom up. So I'm just going to whack up the heat a little bit, and then I'll turn it down when we put the pizza in. So again, your oven's at 200 degrees Celsius fan. Now, for your pizza sauce topping, you really can't beat the homemade one. It is so easy to make. So we're going to go in with our passata, which you'll see, again, this was like gold dust as well. There is more back in the shop now. It's just sieved tomatoes, okay? And it just means it's kind of like a thicker consistency and more flavour. So we're going to go in with about 3 tablespoons of our passata. We're going to go in with about half a teaspoon of our oregano. I don't tend to measure these things, just whack them on in. We're going to go in with a pinch of our sea salt, a little bit of our black pepper, and then we're also going to go in with, because I absolutely love it, and I find that it's garlic, and I find that if I slice it and put it on the pizza, it tends to burn, but if I actually grate it down into the passata mix, it doesn't. So we're just going to go in with about half a clove of that, and we're just going to grate it using just your normal sort of fine grater. So handy. So there's no chopping involved here, so it's nice and speedy. And again, as I say, if you've got the kids involved, perfect. And we're just going to mix that straight in. Now, give everything a really good mix around there. And I'll just show you this now, what it looks like. So easy, this. So you can see there in the bowl, so easy to make. I mean, that literally takes you less than 1 minute to do. You can obviously buy pizza topping sauces, but then the problem is you don't know what's in them, and most of the time there's a lot of sugars in them and an awful lot of salt as well. So it's one of the reasons why after eating pizza, why you feel so thirsty as well. Okay, so we're ready now just to assemble this. So I'm just going to go and get the pizza stone from the oven. And that oven is lovely and hot there as well. So we have our pizza stone here. Mine is blackened from years of use, but it is definitely one of my best friends when it comes to making pizzas as well. So a little bit of flour onto your pizza stone. Just a gentle amount. Some people use polenta as well, or semolina flour on it as well, but normal flour works perfect. And what we're going to do is, we're just going to pull, so you can see here, if I lift you up this, the size of it, it's kind of like about a 10-inch dinner plate. So we're just going to pop that straight onto the stone. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start to assemble it with our toppings. So again, really simple. You know what I mean? There's no technical ability needed in this. So again, get the kids involved. With your passata, I find that the 3 tablespoon amount is great for 1 pizza. So if you're going to be making the 2 pizzas, you're going to double it up as well. So on we go with that. We're just going to put the whole lot on, and the smell is just wonderful. There's just that beautiful smell of oregano and garlic, which is, to me, just epitomizes Italian cooking. Beautiful. So I'll just show you now what I'm doing here. So I'm just spreading the sauce around the pizza to about 1 inch away from the sides. more sauce on it, go mad for it and stick another few tablespoons in. But that is just looking great. Okay. So in terms of our toppings, obviously we need our mozzarella cheese. Shouldn't have pizza without cheese. So a couple of handfuls. I just have the bags of grated mozzarella, but by all means you can use fresh mozzarella as well, but just be careful, it is quite wet and does need dried out. So on the top, we are just going to sprinkle over a little handful of cheese. And depending on how much you need yourself, and there is now, I have seen it, great vegetarian options or vegan options of cheese as well. So you can have your pizza even if you are vegan as well. I've seen sort of mozzarella type cheese made out of coconut as well, and lovely. So absolutely. Now, in terms of topping, I love vegetarian pizzas, so I tend to go with them. So what I have over here is I have just a red pepper, and I have sliced it down just really, really thinly, you'll see, into little slivers. I am just going to arrange them around the top of the pizza. What I'm just going to do is just move this a little bit closer to you so you can see it. And again, just scattering them over the top. They're lovely. And then they cook so quickly as well. The peppers still have that lovely red colour to them as well, and they're not like burnt or overcooked. I happen to have, again, this is all leftover pizzas in my house. I have half a tub of black and green olives with some feta, and I think to myself, I'm going to throw on a few of those. So again, we'll throw them on with the feta. The feta on pizzas is brilliant because it doesn't actually melt down. It still stays sort of as a chunk. Now, so that is the green and the black olives. Try to sort of have them fairly even, okay? And that should do it. And then into this as well is, I do love a bit of sweet corn on my pizza. My husband doesn't, but at this one I can actually put some on. So on we go, again, with just a couple of handfuls of our pizza, of our sweet corn. Try to sort of make sure the water is out of them from the tin as well, over the top. Sprinkle it around the top. Oh, that's looking absolutely fantastic. Smelling great as well, even though it hasn't even come out of the oven, hasn't got in. Now, one of my favourite things on pizza is mushrooms. But a little hint, mushrooms obviously are about 80% water, okay? So when you put them on something like this, they start to cook, the water comes out, you end up with a puddle on top of your pizza. You don't want that. So what I've done is I have roasted off some big, sort of the portobello mushrooms, the big field mushrooms. I've roasted them off, I've cooled them, and I literally have just sliced them into slices. So I am going to pop them just around the pizza. And because they have been roasted, they give an absolutely wonderful flavour. Really, a real depth of flavour on them. So we'll just arrange that around, and that is looking brilliant. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is a little grinding of our black pepper over the top. And then, as I always do, is a little bit of olive oil just before it goes into the oven. So I just have a lovely Greek olive oil and a little sprinkle over the top. And I'm just going to show you very quickly what this is looking like before it actually goes in. So you can see there before it goes into the oven. I'll not tip it anymore. Last week when I did this in a demo, the whole thing ended up on the floor, so I'll only tip it as far as that. So I'm going to pop that straight into the oven. And I'm going to let that cook for about 8 minutes. And that is all that is going to need. Okay, and that is at your 200 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to let that cook there, and when it comes out, I'm going to drizzle it again with some lovely olive oil, and I tend to serve mine with like rocket and stuff on the top. So I'm just going to quickly recap over that and give you some other ideas as well in sort of how you can store it and freeze it and everything. We had our 100 grams of our wholemeal flour, 100 grams of our strong white flour. We had 7 grams or one little sachet pack of our fast action yeast. I forgot to mention that. It's the fast action, so it doesn't have to sit around. We had a pinch of salt and some black pepper, and I put a little bit of oregano in my dough, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You know what I mean? It's totally up to yourself. I just like the flavour of it. we gave that a good mix around in a big wide bowl, and then we added 125 millilitres of just tepid water, which is where we boil the kettle. We let it cool down until you can dip your finger in comfortably and it's not hot. So we added that in, brought it together, and then brought it out on top of the tabletop with a bit of flour on it, and that's when we started to stretch it and knead it. We kneaded it there for a few minutes, just until you will know, because when the dough comes out of the bowl, first of all, it's almost like how would you say, it's more like sort of cakey, and then the more you stretch it and pull it, you can feel that it's actually more stretchy in it. So you'll know once it kind of doesn't rip and doesn't tear that it's ready to go. So about 3 or 4 minutes there kneading on that one, and this is a dough that you don't need to rise, so you can just let it go. We then roll that dough out to about the size, about a 10-inch dinner plate. If you're not sure, get a plate, put it over the top, see how far you need to roll it out. But I wouldn't get too caught up with that, to be honest with you. Make it as thin or as thick as you like yourself. And to the top of that, we added my own pizza topping, which was our Italian passata. Again, any supermarket, if you can get your hands on it at the moment, they are back in stock. Just your Italian passata. And with between 3 and 5 tablespoons of that. I used 3 today, which I felt was loads. We had a garlic clove, which we just grated with a cheese grater, again, just to keep it lovely and fine. We put them into a bowl. We added some dried oregano. We added some black pepper in there as well, and we added a little pinch of our sea salt. And we just give that all a really good whisk around. And we topped our pizza with passata mix to give us our lovely sort of pizza tomato topping as well. There also is, some people like barbecue sauce on a pizza, and by all means you can pop on some barbecue sauce instead of the Italian passata as well. Now, a little tip as well when you are making them. The way I have now, I've got sort of another pizza dough left here as well, so half of it. So remember, that pizza makes 2 sort of 10-inch to 11-inch pizzas, so it's quite a good bit. So what you can do with the other one, if you're not going to use it, is you are going to wrap it in cling film, just put a little label on it and whack it in the freezer. And then when you want to use it again, is take it out, give it an hour, and again, just give it a bit of a knead through. You may find when you take it out that there's a bit of a hard skin around it, but if you kind of just trickle a few drops of water on it, you can flick them on it like that, and then start kneading it again, you'll bring back that kind of soft, stretchy dough as well, okay? So that means then you could maybe double the recipe and put some into the freezer, and you can have them at the weekend, like in 10 minutes. With the passata as well, what I tend to do when I'm making it myself is I make maybe double treble batch, and I will freeze it in freezer bags, just labeled Italian pizza topping. And that means as well is that when the time comes when you want to make pizza and you don't want to spend all night in the kitchen, is you just pull out some of your pizza dough and a little sandwich bag with your passata topping as well, and straight away you are good to go to pizza on the table in half an hour. So I'm just going to check the timing on this, and that's looking great. Okay, another couple of minutes in there. Now, in terms of your topping, as I say, I love vegetarian topping, so you know, it's whatever's up to yourself. What is gorgeous on it as well is some even flavoured chicken. So get yourself a chicken breast, little bit, chop it into little chunks about that size, a little bit of olive oil over it in a bowl, and then you can add in some herbs, some spices and stuff on it. Let it marinate for about half an hour, and then you can just top your pizza with that as well. The mushrooms that I used is, make sure with your mushrooms, if you're using the big mushrooms or even the small ones, is fry them off at a high temperature before you're going to use them. Because what that does is it draws out all the water from the mushrooms as well. And it means that on your pizza, you don't have a big puddle sitting there. And also as well as that kind of, it doesn't look very nice, that kind of browny water that comes out of mushrooms, you don't want that on the top of your pizza. As it says, I've used the lovely olives I've got. So have a look in your fridge, see what's there. Another thing that's gorgeous on the top of it is, if you like courgettes, is get a courgette and using a vegetable peeler is sort of skin it along so you're getting kind of strips. They are gorgeous. If you kind of arrange them over the top and you're roasting them for a couple of minutes in the oven, they are absolutely gorgeous as well. Other things are You'll see your feta cheese, your goat's cheese, your chicken, chorizo, pepperoni, prawns are gorgeous on there as well. I had sweet corn on there as well, but really the sky is the limit, whatever you have. Sun-dried tomatoes are another one, they're absolutely lovely. If you don't have the passata for the chocolate pizza, sometimes I use like a sun-dried tomato pesto, and it's absolutely gorgeous, really is. So now I'm just going to take a quick look at this and see where we're at with it. That is gorgeous. That is about 1 minute to go with that. So I hope that's given you some ideas for sort of quick and simple midweek pizzas as well. If if you're stuck for ideas as well, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people is they're fed up eating the same things and they're stuck for ideas. So I am trying to give you ideas for quick, simple, but healthy and nutritious meals as well. But also stuff that you don't have to go to the shop for every day. So if there's stuff that if you're watching these videos and there's stuff you'd like to see, please get in touch. Put a comment under the video and say, look, Anya, could you make such and such or whatever, you know what I mean? Let me know what you're looking to see, because obviously I want to be making things that you want to see as well. This Friday, we're going to do a lovely Friday night curry and naan bread and stuff like that. So again, it's giving you sort of quick ideas for the weekend as well. So I try to on a Monday do something to sort of set you up for the week. Wednesday again, something like a bit of a fun meal, and then Friday, something like a bit of a takeaway meal. But as I say is, if there is things you want to see, get in touch and I will do my best to accommodate it. Obviously, depending if I can get the ingredients. And again, if you're looking for more ideas as well on recipes, is my Facebook group, The Fabulous Foodies. Please join up. I have loads of recipes in there for really quick and easy meals in 30 minutes. And you're coming down with recipes and tips. So that's the Fabulous Foodies group on my Facebook page as well. And what I'll do is at the end of this, after I take out the pizza and finish up, I will post up the link to that, and please feel free to go there, because I do know how hard it is to actually get motivated and to actually have ideas for cooking when you're literally cooking every minute of the day. Now, that's our pizza out of the oven, so I'm just going to grab that. And that is absolutely delicious. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to give it a little drizzle with some lovely olive oil, again, extra virgin olive oil. And what that's doing is just adding that little bit of flavour as well. Often what I'll do just before serving it, as I say, is I will add in a little handful of rocket, dress it with a little bit of olive oil and just plonk it in the middle. Otherwise, is some lovely fresh basil leaves, some fresh coriander, or do you know what? Just like this, it looks brilliant. So I'm just going to give it a little drizzle before I show you. And as I say is, please do, if you like the videos, please leave a comment, leave a little like or whatever. And that way we actually know that you're enjoying them and you're getting to see them as well. But, and as I say, if there's anything you want to see, leave the comment below or get in touch with me in my Facebook page as well. So I'm just going to show you this now. Make sure this one doesn't go sliding on me. And I'm just going to show you here. Actually, give me 1 second. It's absolutely scalding. I'll just show you to the camera what it's actually looking like. So you can see here in that, there we go there. You can see there, that was in half an hour. In fact, it was less than 25 minutes. We have the most gorgeous vegetarian pizza. But as I say is, whatever's in your house, whatever's left over. So the next time you look in the fridge and there's like half a chicken breast or even the leftovers of cooked chicken, all of those things, even on Monday when I did the sausage meatballs, we often use sausage meatballs on the pizza as well. Absolutely gorgeous, okay? So whatever's in the fridge, you will always be able to make a pizza. If you have your wholemeal flour, your strong white flour, and if you can get your hands on the yeast, fair play, but you should be always able to have something in the fridge that you'll be able to rustle up something like this. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. And as I said, is for loads more recipes, go to the Fabulous Foodies Facebook group. I'll post up the link underneath the comments box once we finish. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And I'll see you back here on Friday at 3 o'clock. We'll be cooking up a stormer for a lovely Friday night curry. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.